Good morning, everybody. On this beautiful Saturday morning, I wanted to welcome you to our Senior Living Options Workshop with a twist, as I call it, because the goal today is not just to talk about, what I usually share in the workshop, where we talk about, different options and what needs to get done and how do we start, but also we are starting to bring more and more community resources to you, so that way you can get an idea of what's out there, what's available to you, which is the most amazing thing. Is what I'm finding is that, especially working in the senior market, we need help. Our parents, our grandparents need help, and there's so many resources that are available out there that I believe that it's important to understand what's available out there, because there's just so much of it. So we have a couple of amazing community members with us today. So let me jump right in. And let's see. Okay. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you based on my slide, and then I will invite our community members as well to share what they do and how they help in our community. But the goal today is what we're just talking about today is, in general, is, okay, you have decided to make a move. What's next? Like, where do you start? Okay. Just wanted to share with you a little bit about me. My name, again, is Olga St. Pierre, and I have been a real estate agent and serving clients in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, now going on year 12. This is my full-time career, and I'm truly passionate about what I do. And our team mission is to help anyone with a plan and a budget become a homeowner. And once they become homeowners, we help them be amazing members of the community, responsible and sustainable homeowners. And a part of what we do are these community workshops, where we try to help everyone and understand what are the resources that are available here in the community versus, what we hear on social media, or maybe, what we see on TV. So we kind of bring it local truly and try to be of service to everyone that we can. We have great relocation service. So if you have family, friends, or coworkers that are moving, we have relocation service that is available anywhere in the United States and Canada, and now actually spreading out into other parts of the world. And please, we encourage you to use and utilize our concierge service. So think of us as your virtual yellow pages nowadays. If you need recommendations for contractors, for special services, for home improvement contractors, we definitely are expanding our senior service options as well, with great connections like the two partners today. Inspectors, appraisers, decluttering, anything and anything that you can think of to help you make your life easier, we are here for you. So that's a little bit about me and our team. And here's what we're talking about today. And it's important to understand, and I designed this workshop a couple of years ago because what I realized is, in working with seniors, when you are trying to make a senior move, it is so much different than having someone who is just moving from a condo to a townhouse, who is starting a family. And the reason being is that overall, moving is one of the life's top 10 stressors, right? It's right up there along with divorce, with someone being sick or being laid off or having a stressful situation. And with seniors, what happens is that what they were comfortable with and what they were seeing as their happy and ideal home a few years back may not be the same thing now, right? The yard may be too big. The steps may be too many and too steep, and it's just too much stuff to clean, too many rooms. And also with age, I think all of us can relate to that, but especially the seniors, is that, we have different priorities. Health challenges arise. There's new decisions to make, and a lot of times it becomes very much overwhelming. And feeling of loneliness and helplessness and frustration of overwhelm sets in. And my goal today is to bring you the resources and the information to let you know that, number one, you don't have to go through this alone. There's definitely help available. And there are resources, there are people, there are companies who can help you make that happen. And, this is part of what we're talking about today. Okay. So it is time to downsize. Here are some questions that I am encouraging you to think about. I'm a big believer in notebooks and writing things down, because the research has proven that when you are writing something down and your brain is realizing that you're doing something, to your brain, it's progress. It is moving forward. And when you write things down, it is an action of doing that is also going to help you and bring you more energy. So these are the questions that we are kind of talking about today. And these are the questions that I suggest that you pose to yourself as well as you are trying to think about what are you planning on doing, right? So how do you start? Number one, it always starts about how do we feel about our decision about moving. Okay. And what I'm encouraging you today is to think about it in a positive way. Okay. You are not downsizing, right? You are right sizing, because what your idea of the right home, 20 years ago, when you were maybe, going from a townhouse to a larger home because of family getting bigger, is not the same as what you're looking for now. Okay. So we are actually making the right size about what is the right home or right situation for us right now. We're not just moving, but we're moving forward, right? Because we're always moving forward. And that's how I encourage you to think about it. We are going to be going from fear to worry, and worry to feeling comfortable and positive anticipation of what you're trying to accomplish, okay? And I understand that a lot of the times change is hard, but I'm encouraging you to think of this as a positive thing, something that you're making a decision for yourself, right? You can go from feeling of leaving and loss to appreciating new opportunities and new life that will unfold, right? And we're not in a crisis, okay? I appreciate the fact that you are here with us today, because obviously this is something that you want to start thinking about. And I always encourage everyone, when you are starting to think about the move, it's always, always best to start thinking about it sooner than later. So that's what we are talking about today. So number one, what we're talking about first is, where am I going to live, right? So this is one of the first questions after you decided that you are going to be going somewhere. And I encourage you to ask these questions to yourself and your loved ones. Is number one, desired size of your new home, okay? The area where you want to live in. Because, for example, if you are planning on making your right size move from something large to something small in the same area, right, in our community, that is one thing. But if you're thinking that you don't want to deal with the winter anymore and you want to head down to Florida, that is another type of move, because really you're talking about phase one. Here we are wrapping up maybe our life here, and then we're starting a new life in Florida. So that is phase one, and then phase two. Next, the type of your new home. There's tons of options available where you have communities. If you needed some, ideas and some community resources, you can go into from, living in the big home, going into condo or an apartment where you don't want to be an owner. You just want to rent and have worry-free living. Single family, if you wanted to go from a bigger 2-story maybe to a rancher, townhome, right? Then also next item to consider is level of care you may need, right? If you have health concerns, or you know that your loved one may have health issues down the road because of, where you are, right? In the reality of your situation, what does that look like? Is this something that is small right now, but then you may need more care later, right? And do you want to stay in your own home? Okay, so there are always options. And I can't tell you how many times I heard from my clients is say, Olga, they're going to carry me out of this house in a box. And that's okay. And we can help you with that. But that also takes planning, right? Is that an option that's viable for you? Okay. And you need to ask yourself questions. Is your home safe for you to stay in, right? Because falling for seniors is a #1 concern, right? Uh, there's an opportunity to do a home safety assessment. This is something that we offer where we can help you and go through your home and analyze and to see what kind of modifications potentially you need to make to your home if you choose to stay in your home to make sure that it is safe for you to stay, okay? So what I wanted to actually right now, we're going into some of the options for senior living, but I wanted to ask Loretta to chime in because her specialty is helping seniors in home. And I'm actually going to go back to the screen, but let's say that you want to stay in your home and you decided that is the best available option for you. So Loretta, tell us a little bit more about what you do and how this ties in and what kind of community resources that you offer.
Thank you, Olga. I'm happy to. My name is Loretta Shacklet. I'm the founder and owner of Simplify Senior Living. Simplify Senior Living is a personal concierge or personal assistant service to serve older adults. My company is invested in a high level of service to support seniors' independence, their health, and their quality of life. A little bit about my background. My educational and experience background is in family counseling and life coaching for over 20 years. And I've recently received my certification as a certified senior advisor. So it's because of my experience and my education and the certification that I can offer my older adult clients a connection and a relationship on a deeper level. And now with social isolation, it's really never been more important. Providing emotional support, we all know, is key to keeping your loved ones physically and mentally fit. It's very, very important to spend quality time together, providing much needed companionship, all while accomplishing the daily tasks that seniors need the most help with. And some of the services that seniors request the most with, and I've got a bunch of them just to talk to you a little bit about today. Household chores and grocery shopping and laundry and closet organization, running their errands, prescriptions need to be picked up, dry cleaning needs to be done, personal shopping. We're coming up into the holiday season. And for many of my seniors, I do all their holiday shopping and wrapping and mailing. A lot of household organization. I start usually in the kitchen, which is the hub of everybody's home, and help them reorganize so that their kitchen really works smoothly and the best for them. The refrigerator is also a very important place that I start, just to make sure that the seniors, there's no spoiled food in there. It also helps me with helping them plan their meals as to what they're eating every day. So that's an important piece of it. Another very popular service that I offer is overseeing technicians or people coming into your home. The Comcast or Verizon person coming in, the washing machine needs to be repaired. You get a 4-hour window, you're having a new piece of furniture delivered. I'm there with you so you're not alone with someone new or strange coming into your home. And the benefit of that is that for that 4-hour period of time, I'm working with you the whole time. So we can absolutely redo the entire laundry room, get 3 or 4 loads of laundry done and put away, linen closets reorganized. One of the services that I'm busy with right now with seniors is moving out all summer clothes and bringing in the winter clothes. And I often, just a little bit about that. A lot of organizers come in and will reorganize closets or whatever. With seniors in particular, it's fun to be able to do it together. So I usually bring in a chair and a cup of tea, and they sit with me, and we go through, all their clothes. It's a relationship and it's companionship. I often find out about all the fun places they went to when they wore that. Important with seniors also, Some organizers are going to come in and put all the pants and all the shirts and all of this. Closets are dark. It's hard for seniors to see everything. I come in, I put outfits together. I know my mother used to wear the same pants and sweater. Um, the closet was dark. It was hard for her to pull out which sweater went with that. She'd pull out a pair of brown pants that looked blue in the closet and a shirt that went with it that didn't work. So anyhow, I work with seniors and help them pick what they love best with the outfits. So their closets are organized according to outfits. So they'll have pants and a belt and a shirt and a sweater all together so they can pick out their outfits. And anyhow, it's organizing, but it's also companionship and talking with them and learning about their lives and everything. Mail management. Often mail and newspapers and magazines and stuff start to pile up, and it's a nightmare for them. So I like to go in and help them organize their filing system so they know exactly where to go in and put a bill, or what they think is advertising, but they're afraid to throw away just in case it isn't, and how to organize and help them with the magazines and the newspapers and everything else that come into. Olga was talking about downsizing, and I just moved a lovely couple from Pottstown down into one of the plus 55 communities. And Olga, boy, you described the continuing care model so beautifully. And with my family counseling background and with my certification, the most important thing that I've learned, and I try to use with every client and every senior that I meet, is to meet them exactly where they are. And as you said, some want to stay in their home forever. Some, the best spot is to move to a 55. Some is an independent living. So I think with all people that work, all professionals that work with seniors, the most important thing is to meet everybody exactly where they are, to spend and take the time to find out what their needs are and what their goals are and where they're going to be the happiest, and to help them with their goals. So anyhow, this couple that I helped, they had a big home. They had a 3-bedroom home, and they were moving into an assisted living facility. So they had a lot of work to do. They hired me for 3 days, and I worked with them. We organized what was going to be donated. They wanted to donate everything to Purple Heart, what was going to be trashed, what they were taking with them, and what they wanted to give to their adult children. Well, first off, their adult children didn't want anything, but it was just a matter of communication. What their adult children didn't want to do was they didn't want to sort through boxes of junk and pull out one piece or whatever. So I went to work with this lovely couple. We got the donations in Purple Heart. I called them up. I was there. They had them. I made sure they took exactly what went there. The next step was to get rid of all of the trash, and using, 1-800 I Got Junk or whatever, one of the groups or whatever. We got rid of all the trash. Now we were down to 2 different groups, what they were packing, and I packed everything for them, for the movers to come. And then I took everything they wanted to give to their children and displayed it really nicely on a table, so that when their adult children came in, it did look nice and they did want it. So it was kind of a win-win. And the couple moving felt great about giving it to their adult children. And the adult children said, "Oh, I didn't know mom had this or that, or I remember this." And so anyhow, it was a win-win of a situation. And we did it in less than 3 days. I think we did it in a day and a half. They also moved into one of the facilities, and I helped them set up their kitchen. I helped them set up their linen closets, their clothes, and get everything organized. So anyhow, that's one of the services I do for them. For seniors, once they're in their home and they need a little bit of support to stay there, I have, for companionship, the term is so loosey-goosey. Well, what is, companionship or whatever? With one set of seniors I work with, the one couple, the woman was a voracious reader, but between eyesight and everything else, she had kind of stopped. I found that out after listening to kind of what her needs were or whatever. We formed our own little reading club, and we read once a week or whatever. And then we have great conversations about the books and the magazines and the articles we read or whatever. With another couple, we started a walking club, and we walk for 10 or 15 minutes. I have on my website which a lot of different websites try to kind of, I guess, advertise or whatever. And I kind of set my website up to give as much value and as much information. So I have all my blogs are all just information for seniors, and videos on, I have wonderful videos on Tai Chi, seated Tai Chi, and yoga you can do seated, and all different types of just exercises that seniors can enjoy doing. Another service that I offer is telemedicine. Has always been popular with seniors, but now with COVID has really become a wonderful service. Um, and a lot of issues kind of play into that. And it's a little bit difficult for seniors. Some seniors, not all. Some are more savvy than I am on the computer, and don't discount them, because over 50% of seniors use email every day. So anyhow, but with telemedicine, it's particularly important. It's nice to have a health advocate. It's nice to have somebody help prep prior to going to a doctor. What are my 5 questions that are the most important things I want to ask the doctor that have happened since the last time? Well, we write them down. I type them up in nice big block letters or whatever, so that when a senior is sitting in front of the computer Zooming with their doctors, they have it right there. I'm also there so that they don't have to worry if they have a technical something happens with Zoom. The mute isn't working. They can't hear the doctor. They need the volume turned up. I've had seniors and family friends that I've helped or whatever, and the doctor spent half of the time helping them with technical things instead of let's get the important stuff. And it's also awfully nice when you're on a telemedicine, you're on a Zoom call with your doctor. I just sit on the sidelines. I'm there for any help they need, but I sit and I write down everything the doctor said so that they have their notes and then they can go over it afterwards. And that has really been helpful. I also have introduced to many seniors, it's called the Grand Pad. It's just a tablet, but it's a tablet specifically designed for seniors. And boy, it's so easy to navigate. And once I've introduced it and I've worked with them 2, 3, 4 times with it, and we've done it, it has taken off and been wonderful. So that's something else. And I know I'm starting to get talking too much. So anyhow, what I wanted to let you know also for my seniors and for everyone today, that my passion for serving older adults really came from serving my own mother. And I saw firsthand that the quality of the person I had in helping my mother really determined her happiness that day. And I had been a counselor and kind of was winding down that practice, working 1 or 2 days. And that's where I said that, boy, seniors deserve to be treated with dignity and respect, and to understand that companionship while you're in a senior's home and the relationship that you develop with a senior and you're in serving their home. Anybody can empty the dishwasher and anybody can put a load of laundry in, and anyone can shop and dump off things. But providing that companionship and providing that relationship is key uh, to seniors thriving. I've become a passionate advocate for the dignity and safety of our seniors. I was telling Olga, but prior to that, I have a wonderful presentation that I have up on my website also, but that I do on identity theft and scams that target. So I try to make my website a really good information for seniors. I know Olga will share this with you, but it's simplifyseniors.com. The biggest benefit I can offer, because I don't just work for seniors, I work I work for and with their whole family. When you're an adult child of a parent, you have aging parents, and you are taking care of your own children, you're taking care of busy careers, you're taking care of your own home, your own family needs, and aging parents. Often the relationship with aging parents starts to suffer. It's difficult. And you're spending 4 or 5 hours and you're going grocery shopping for them, and you're coming in and you're cleaning this. And what I like to do, what I like to offer is that, I'm happy to do all of that so that when you can come in to your parents' home, bring in lunch, sit for a couple of hours and have a wonderful time and enjoy with them. Don't, when you've got that 3 or 4 hour window or whatever, and you've got to come in and clean that kitchen and you've got to go food shopping for them and you've got to do everything else. What I leave you with is for them, your time with your aging parents is really precious. Simplify Senior Living can help you enjoy it. So anyhow, if you have a loved one or know of someone who needs extra help and support in their life, don't wait any longer. Reach out. I'd be so happy to help them. I try to say to everybody, Simplify Senior Living is in the business of solving problems for seniors and helping them to enjoy their lives. Anyhow, thank you, Olga, for letting me share a little bit with everybody. I certainly enjoy being here with everybody this morning.
No, I definitely appreciate it. I actually have a couple questions for you. Do you have a certain area that you service?
I do. I service Bucks and Montgomery County, specific
Mhm.
Eastern and Central Montgomery, Chestnut Hill. I have many, many clients over on the main line
Mhm.
and the surrounding areas.
So if I have, because I work in New Jersey a lot as well, do you have any connections there that if someone is looking for more
I
personalized in-home service?
absolutely do. I have
Okay.
two groups in New Jersey that are concierge services that have been in serving older adults,
Mhm.
advocates for older adults that are wonderful. So I'm happy to give two referrals, particularly one. Lisa Sequeiro has a company in Cherry Hill,
Mhm.
and she works just the way I do. She has passion and treats her seniors with tremendous dignity, is an unbelievable advocate for seniors, and it is terrific in that area. And we kind of work together, and happy to share all of our information and website with anybody in the Jersey area.
Got it. And typically, how do you bill for your service? Is this something that where you have like a price sheet and hourly rate, so that way, because can can the clients use maybe some of their money from their long-term care insurance or some other kind of resources to pay for your services? If you can just talk a little bit about that.
Certainly. With most of my clients, Olga, I have a membership.
Okay.
Um, and it seems to work the best because with a membership service that I offer them, they're guaranteed a certain number of hours. And many of my seniors, there's some seniors that I work with daily. There's some seniors that I work with once a week or twice a week. There's some seniors that I work with once or twice a month. But with a membership, they are guaranteed that time, and that time is there. They get priority scheduling. They get my personal cell phone. They get, there's so many benefits to it. And it provides a sense of security that they know
Mhm.
they have certain hours, they have certain times that they are absolutely guaranteed. They don't have to worry in the beginning of the week, or what will I need next week, or where will I fit in, or whatever. So that seems to work the best. Um, services are deducted. My services are deductible for income tax purposes, which is a nice benefit from them.
Absolutely.
I also offer packages. The other thing with memberships, there's no minimum requirement. It's so easy to work with me. There's no minimum requirement. If you're just using me for packages, then just for ease of transportating and everything else, I require a minimum of 2 hours.
Mhm.
Um, I have packages for a small, just to give everybody, a small idea of whatever, for 3 hours for $115 for just 3 hours. So, and I try to work with clients to make it as reasonable. And I don't on my website have hours pricing written down with it. I try to work individually with each one,
Mhm.
with each client, to try to make it affordable. I want to be able to care for them. But yes, I work work somewhere between $30 and $35 an hour. As you do memberships, that price comes down or whatever. But just to give everybody, because people want to, know exactly, or at least a ballpark so they can understand it. And I'm always happy to share that with them.
Perfect, perfect. Yes, we will definitely post your information in the materials as well as in the video. Once it gets published, all of your information will be listed as well. So that way everybody and the clients can reach out to you. Thank you so much, Loretta.
Wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure. So the next topic that we're transitioning in is then, okay, you're telling us that you are not interested in staying in your home, right? And you're definitely thinking that heading into some type of community is the best option for you. Okay, so the next step is, this is where I wanted to introduce Scott to you, because there's a million different questions. You know, like I was thinking myself, because my parents are starting to get into that age group and I am starting to do my research. So I'm approaching this not only as an educator and provider to the community resource, but also as a child of parents who are going to need these services. So where do you go? What are the options? What are the communities that are available to us in the area? How does one pay for that, right? Do you know, what happens if money runs out? So when we met and talked to Scott, what we realized is that this is actually, he is your one shop advisor for every one of those things. I think what was amazing is that Scott shared with us when we talked to him last week is that he has visited just about every community that we have in our area, which is amazing, right? So Scott, whenever you are ready to jump in, I would love for you to share with us what you do and how you help our community members and our seniors.
Great, I'd love to. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen.
Sure.
So let's make sure that this works like I want it to work.
Okay.
Can everybody see that?
Yes, yes.
So I'm going to go slideshow. Okay. So yeah, first off, I want to thank Olga and Jessica for inviting me to come share today. I'm looking forward to being able to be an option for everybody that's out there. As Olga mentioned, my name is Scott Burgess. I'm the owner of Oasis Senior Advisors, Bucks in Montgomery County. And what I do is Oasis Senior Advisors, I serve Bucks County, Montgomery County, and the greater Northeast. And it's a free senior housing placement service that helps seniors and their families find the best possible senior housing based upon their specific wants and needs. So that always raises a lot of questions. And the first question that I always get when I explain what I do is, free? Really? Free? You know, that always raises antennas from everybody. What do you mean free? Well, my services are free to my clients and their families because I get paid a referral commission from the community that my client moves into. I don't represent any specific community. As Olga mentioned, I have gotten to know all the communities in my territory. You know, the territory that I mentioned, the greater Northeast, Bucks, and most of Montgomery County. There are actually about 85 senior living communities that fit into the category of what I work with, which is primarily independent living, assisted living / personal care. In Pennsylvania, most of the assisted living are actually personal care communities, not assisted living. There's a slight difference, which I'm really not going to get into now, but memory care communities. And then in addition, there is the CCRCs, which is the continuing care retirement communities, which really runs from independent living through assisted living, personal care, memory care if necessary, and skilled nursing. For the most part, I don't help with finding the right skilled nursing facility for somebody. That's a different issue because that's a Medicaid issue. However, I do help people find skilled nursing if that's really what they need, mainly because it's the right thing to do if that's what my client needs. So there are a number of steps that I do to find the right place or places for my clients to look at. First thing I need to do is determine what my clients' needs and wants are. You know, what's important for you, what's important for your parents. First thing is, what are your care needs? And that could be medical or it could just be activities of daily living. You know, sometimes there are specific medical needs that the person needs, and sometimes it's just, you know, the senior might just need help getting into the shower, or just somebody there to be sure that they don't fall. And maybe it's really no care needs yet. Maybe it's just you're looking for independent living, but you want a place that that has the opportunity of having somebody close by if something does happen. Then I look at the person's personality, their background, their culture, and try to figure out, again, what the best community is for that person. Not every community is the same. As I said, there's 85 different ones. You might be the type that likes the big fancy chandeliers in the dining room, you know, and the tablecloths all perfect. Or you might be the type that wants more of the homey dining room and maybe 6 or 7 tables, you know, that just has people feeling like almost like a bed and breakfast type thing. And then there's in between as well. So I try to figure that out. I try to find out, you know, what your culture is, your background, because again, maybe you have a strong Catholic faith. So the Abramson Center for Senior Living might not be right for you. They would accept you, but they're not going to have a Christmas tree up in the lobby in December, and vice versa. If you have a strong Jewish background, then maybe the Lutheran community of Telford doesn't quite fit, you know, what you're looking for. Again, you're accepted, and there's plenty of different cultures and ethnicities and religions at all the places. But you know, again, they're not going to have a menorah up in the lobby at Hanukkah time. Desired location, very important. I can help pretty much anywhere in the United States. Now, my territory, as I said, is local here, but there are Oasis advisors across the country. So if I have a client that lives in California and wants to come here, then the Oasis advisor in California and I work together, and vice versa. I might have a client here who wants to move home to be closer to the children or the grandchildren in Florida. Well, I have Oasis advisors, franchises in Florida that I can work with to help with that. And then there's finances. Finances obviously are important. In Pennsylvania in particular, Medicaid does not cover independent living, assisted living, memory care, and personal care. Medicaid only covers skilled nursing in Pennsylvania. So everything's private pay. Now, it could be that you have, you know, plenty of income, you have plenty of assets, maybe you have long-term care insurance, maybe you're a veteran. I try to find out, you know, the basics on what your finances are, and again, try to match you up with the communities that will be a good match for your finances. So then I take that information and I put it into our proprietary software system, which gives me a number of communities that would be a fit based upon the basic information. But I also take it a step further on that, is I then drill down a little bit further from what I've learned from talking with somebody, because sometimes, you know, the things you learn or the things that you put in the computer don't correlate exactly to the way you feel. So what I try to do is find 4 or 5 communities that might be a good fit, discuss it with my client, and see what ones are smart options to go with. One of the big differences in the services that I offer versus some of the other placement companies out there is that I actually tour the communities with my clients when they want, if they want me to. And I've only had one client so far that has turned down my offer to tour with them. Obviously, right now with COVID, it's a lot different. COVID has stopped a lot of live tours, and a lot of it is either Zoom tours or what they call walkabout tours, where you can go to the community and kind of walk around and kind of peek in the windows. And sometimes they have some apartments that are available that we can go into because maybe the access is from the outside. But obviously they're doing their best to keep their residents safe. So they are trying to be very careful in who comes into the community. Then I get feedback and answer any questions from my clients. You know, it's not always just a, you know, go to it and say, okay, this is great, this is bad. You know, a lot of times it's, well, you know, what did you think about this? Or you know, do they offer, do they have a pool? Do they have, you know, things that we might not have come across when we're there? What are the requirements right now and restrictions based on COVID? So again, I'm there to help answer any of those questions and provide feedback and get feedback. The next couple are actually the parts that are more for what my client has to do. My client has to make the decision. I'm not going to say, you should go to this community. This is where you should move into. Just like I'm sure Olga doesn't tell her clients that, yeah, you should move into this house. What I try to do is try to, again, while I'm answering those questions, kind of point out some of the pluses and pros and cons for you maybe of the communities that we looked at. But in the end, it's going to be your decision. And I might, at some point, I might say, is that really the smart decision to make? Maybe you like the place with the big chandeliers, but based upon your finances, maybe you could only be there for a couple of years. So again, I just try to guide my clients into the right direction. As with many things, there's a lot of paperwork and processes to be done. Usually, again, the community takes over at that point. When it's time to actually start filling out paperwork, it's the community representative that's going to help you through that. But again, I'm always there to be a resource, to be an advocate for my client as they go through the process, because it can be daunting at times. And then there's the move-in. Generally, I don't hire the van to move your furniture or whatever you want to bring in there, but I usually try to be there. Again, it's an issue with COVID where it's limited on how many people can actually be there for the move-in nowadays. But I can also help find different resources. I can find moving companies. I can find people like Loretta. If you're trying to downsize, I've met with Loretta a couple of times, and we know we can work together. One of the things that does come up is a client that in the end, after touring and coming up with ideas, they decide, you know what, maybe it's not time for me to move yet. Maybe I want to stay home for a little bit. And that's great. Sometimes that's the better solution. So what I try to do at that point is, again, try to help them with that decision. Try to find people that can help them in the situation that they want to be in, whether it's home care that they need. I know a number of different companies that do home care. I know how to reach out to elder law attorneys if they need help. There's a lot of different things I can help if they make that decision. What I also want to do is come up with a few and dispel a few common senior living myths. Assisted living is only for the sick or injured, like a hospital. Now, assisted living or personal care or memory care, it's really to help you with your activities of daily living. It's helping, it's when you need help with, getting to and from the bathroom, maybe help getting bathed or getting dressed. It's having the ability to have 3 meals a day being served to you restaurant style. If it's a situation where you're sick or injured, then you really do need a hospital or a skilled nursing facility. Assisted living is much different. It has a lot of activities, a lot of events that go on. It's really more of a social setting. Loss of independence, another myth. There is really no loss of independence when you move into a senior living community. Independent living, personal care, they have parking spaces for their residents. Normally, it's a come and go as you please. Again, COVID has made things different. There are situations in some communities where they have to be much more careful. And if you leave the community to go visit family, then maybe you have to be quarantined when you come back in. Every community is a little different, and it all depends on what's happening in the area as well. Like right now, Philadelphia is still a little more strict than Bucks County. So it's just, but generally it's not a loss of independence. It's really your apartment. A lot of people feel that home is familiar, so it's safer. A lot of times now, if you have somebody that's sharp like Loretta or somebody else like that that's coming to your home, she can probably make it safer. But for a lot of situations, the home is really not that safe because the home is not made for things like wheelchairs and walkers. So it can be dangerous for a senior getting around in their house or their apartment. There's stairs, there's just steps. It's not necessarily safer. All assisted living communities are the same. As I mentioned, there's 85 different communities in my territory. There's a couple that are very, very similar, but none of them are exactly the same. The layout, the food, the activities, the care that's given, it's all very different. Seniors will feel alone or abandoned. I had one client that was actually a friend of my family's, or one of my best friend's mom, and we had to take this the right way as intended. We had to drag her kicking and screaming from her house to an assisted living community because she did not want to leave her house at 30 years. But she had fallen down the stairs because she continued to try to go up and down stairs on a regular basis. Now, when she talks to her children, she still complains about being there. But the 3 or 4 times that I've gone to visit her since she's gone in, every time I've gone in there, she's in a circle with a bunch of her lady friends, talking and chatting and having a great time. She's not alone or abandoned. It's too expensive. Again, there are times where you're going to look at the numbers and you say, this is too expensive for me, but there are a lot of options as well. As I mentioned earlier, there's long-term care insurance if you have it. There is veterans benefits that are possible. There are ways to stretch the dollars. There are less expensive places and there are very expensive places. I try to find the place that's the right fit. Nice thing that I've been doing lately is, especially for some of my Bucks County and Philadelphia County clients that have finance issues, is the option of moving over into New Jersey, where they do have Medicaid after a private spend down of 2 or 3 years. So assisted living is a little bit different in New Jersey than it is in Pennsylvania. There are also some COVID-19 senior living myths that I just wanted to mention. All senior living communities are hotspots. This is where the media did not do senior living a favor. Especially in the height of the pandemic, a lot of the skilled nursing facilities were definitely hotspots. They had a lot of cases, they had a lot of fatalities. It was a horrible situation. But the senior living communities was different. Senior living communities, for one thing, they were allowed to determine if somebody was able to come in or not. They were not required to let COVID patients come in. So if somebody was at the hospital and they came down with COVID and they wanted to come back to the community could say, you have to stay at the hospital or a skilled nursing facility until you are completely clear. Now is not a good time to move into a retirement community. Actually, right now, and probably for the next couple months, it's probably one of the best times. Number one, the communities have changed their policies and procedures. They have plenty of the PPE equipment to keep themselves and their residents safe. They have, as I said, many restrictions on who comes into the building, so that there aren't people coming and going. So it's actually a pretty good time right now to move into the community. Plus the fact that there's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of openings right now, mainly because there are a lot of people that were fearful of moving into a community, and a lot of communities are giving a lot of good incentives right now. Everybody is isolated, stuck in their rooms. There was some truth to this earlier on, but most of the places are starting to open up now because they're COVID clear. So people are starting to do things. They're doing it socially distant. They might not have a room full of 60 residents, and they're going to limit it to maybe 20. But everybody is starting to move around a little bit more in the community. And again, it's because they're COVID free. Residents won't be allowed visitors. Most of the communities, Philadelphia again is a slight exception, but most of the communities are allowing visitors, either outside visits or limited access into special sections of the building visitors. And there's always Zoom visits and window visits that are allowed. Assisted living is a gateway to hospitalization. I'm going to show a slide here that is actually, it was from New York from earlier on, but as you can see, most of the hospitalizations actually came from home. Nursing homes had 18%, but assisted living facilities at that time only had 4% of being hospitalized. And again, I think that's mainly because they reacted quickly. They made procedures and policies set up, and they got the right PPE and made sure that they tried to be as safe as possible. In summary, again, I just want to say that I do offer a very personal service. If you call me, you get me. You're not going to get you might get my voicemail occasionally, but then I'm going to call back. But it's not like you're going to get a different person every time you call. It's just me right now in my territory. Eventually my wife's going to join me and we'll do it together. It's also very confidential. I'm going to take a lot of information from the senior or their family, but I don't share that with anybody, not even the communities, until you've given me your express permission. So if you give me, your contact information, some financial information, I'm not going to go sending it out to the different communities. What I'm going to do is try to figure out what the right places are, take you on the tours, and if at the time we're on a tour, when they ask you for your contact information, if you want to give it to them, then that's your decision to make. But you'll never get calls from communities based upon anything I've given to anybody. So there's my contact information, which Olga's going to have too, and she'll share it at some point as well. But you can text, you can call, you can email me. My phone is always on. I don't answer it usually at 2 o'clock in the morning, but most of the time I'm going to answer it. There's also my website, so you can see more information about who I am and what we do. And at that, I will say and throw it over to Olga that if anybody has any questions.
Fantastic. Can you?
Stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. Well, I think this was amazing. Loretta, Scott, I learned a lot. I was taking notes as you were talking. So this is really cool. And, to me, it just gives me such a great pleasure knowing that we have these resources available locally. So at this time, we are nearing our 1 hour. If anybody has any questions that they wanted to ask either Loretta or Scott right now, feel free to unmute yourself. Or if you want to post them in the chat, we're happy to monitor. Otherwise, we will wrap up in a few minutes, and then anyone can reach out to both Loretta or Scott and ask for, if you wanted to do questions or get answers in private as well.
Right there.
I don't think we have any questions right now.
Not yet,
but-
no.
Yeah, not yet. But it's nice to know that you're there.
Yes, very interesting.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the fear out of the idea of leaving a house we've been in for 45 years.
Mhm.
So it's nice to know. I know Olga's been telling us that she's around, but it's just kind of like she's not the only one out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people, so Olga's not going to put anything over on us because there's others that do the same thing.
So it's not just that, it's different types of services, really, that are out there. We've already followed up with some of the folks on prior webinars.
So we'll keep you all in mind.
And it actually gives me a great peace of mind because I know how to do my work well. And it gives me peace of mind knowing that there are other experts and professionals that can help our seniors that we work with in this field. So thank you for bringing that up. All right, everybody, any last thoughts from Scott or Loretta or anybody else wants to add anything? Otherwise, we're going to wrap up. And this recording is going to go out to everyone. If you know of anyone who you think will find this information valuable, once we have that as a YouTube video, please share it. That's my goal really, is to be a resource to the community or to anyone who may find this information valuable.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is that, and I come to know now Loretta over the last few months from a lot of the networking things we go on. And one of the things that I've seen out there is that, as you mentioned, there are a lot of resources out there. And one of the most important things I think that I've done in the time I've been doing this, and I've been doing this just a little over 2 years right now, is that I have gotten to know so many different people out there that do different things. And I try to get to know them, not just from taking their cards and putting it into my thing, but actually getting into conversations so that if somebody needs some help in something that I don't do, then I feel comfortable with some of the people I've talked to as to who I should recommend. I'm never going to give you legal advice, but I know the legal attorneys, that do, especially senior legal advice. So that's the important thing.
Wonderful. I always tell, the families that I work with that it takes a village, right? And that the help is out there. I think that's the most important thing. All right. Well, thank you so much for participating, Loretta and Scott. We appreciate you very much in the work that you do in our community. Yeah,
Thank you.
I see you're getting
That's wonderful.
bow. Yeah, so we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will get this information out to everyone next week. Until next time, we hope to see you again with us. Have a great day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have
All
a
right,
great day,
bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.